Welcome back, everyone, to the LEC studio. Excel came into the league in 2019, and after 2 years of heartbreak, this season is their best shot yet at redemption and at making those playoffs. Before they take on the Mad Lions, we wanted to celebrate their success over the last couple of weeks and frame it in that journey since 2019. And they're an organization with high hopes, also a new one, right?
Yeah, no, this was always the team, you know, they had their 2-year plan. They were trying to make the playoffs after that, and it never quite came to fruition. They got close a couple of times, but this genuinely feels like it is Excel's best shot to make playoffs since they joined the league in 2019. And you look at the way they play their style, you know, playing for the team fates, they know how their team needs to operate. I think they're on the right path to playoffs here.
Yeah, I think that's the first time, especially if they win this match, that I feel confident about Excel. Always before I was thinking they had so many troubles and many matchups and we're not statically improving. And now I feel that they are clearly better than the bottom tier teams. And I think now they can be a step ahead and actually be one of the playoff contenders for sure.
I love that you brought that up. We actually have a graphic that shows kind of their progression of the season so far. They have won 4 out of their last 5 games. But the interesting thing when you look at the whole split, if we get it up here, is that they're not able to beat the teams that are above them in the standings or top teams, but they are very consistently able to beat all the teams that are around their level and under their level. So they need to take that step up.
Yeah, so over there you see on the top, those are going to be the teams they beat. On the bottom, the teams they lost. And you guys don't need to see that anymore. I've decided. No, honestly, it is true, right? And I think it proves the point here that they're really not... Like, it's not like they're reinventing the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Like, the way they play their game is very simple by nature, but it's super effective, especially when all the teams around them are still trying to figure out how they want to play their games. And I think it's this type of style that means that you are going to be very consistent as well. Teams that are worse than you, you're going to beat every single time.
Can you paint a picture for me? What is that consistent style? Like, what are the ingredients in the draft, and how do they approach the games?
Yeah, no, I mean, it comes down to they always make sure they have some, like, genuine scaling elements, you know, strong backline carry for Patrik, mainly Czekolad as well, and then a front line to back it up. It's not trying to, you know, out-macro your opponents by playing this pressure game and going to side lanes. It is going to be largely coordinated around objective-focused team plays.
Yeah, and I think that they're playing together strongly as a team. I don't think they have individually the strongest player, just because also I have to say that the LEC is just so stacked with unbelievably talent. So I think that they're just playing good together as a team. They're always standing together in those teamfight elements. As you can see, Kryze just massive in this fight. We have, you know, Czekolad, who is also, you know, doing the 1v1 kills, looking for aggressive plays too. So all of them can perform extremely well, and it really shows if they're playing against an enemy who's not that consistently, which were the bottom tier teams. And what I would really love to see from them is just like doing the step above, showing that they are stronger than Mad Lions, for example, who is a direct playoffs contender. And then, you know, they're away from the pack. And I think then this is the first time we can talk of Excel as like one of the stronger teams or the strongest teams of the league.
Yeah, such a crucial game, and I love that you brought up Mad Lions specifically. That's a team they're playing, and maybe when we look at standout performances, I think that the bot lane, especially Patrik, of course, and Excel has been doing well. They're up versus Mad now, and that's where it went wrong last time. The Mad bot lane had their number, so what do we want to see out of Excel this time around?
Well, honestly, like, they just need to stabilize, because again, Excel is not the team that needs to beat you in lane to win. What they need to go is go even in lane, and then they're going to out-team fight you. So they need to, honestly, not die in the 2v2. Like, there's not like a magic recipe I can tell them of how to play the lane. It's just be careful, because Kaiser and Carzzy, we heard of them talking about in the interview earlier today, they feel wild, right? They're out here to try and test limits, and they're going to try to test limits again today. So back it up. Drop a CS if you have to, win the game.
All right, let's see what happens. Excel are looking to avenge the loss from week 2 and take a giant leap towards their first ever LEC playoffs.
It always just feels like we're roasting Caedrel. I know we're not, but it always really does. I'm so sorry, Mark.
That's okay. I hope they make it too.
We're back for game 2. I'm still Drakos. This is still Caedrel.
Yep.
This is going to be a very exciting game. We've seen, because Excel are so far on the side of scaling, so far on the side of late game, most of the games that we see them play feel like very clear clashes stylistically. Because Mad Lions, in this example, they're the early game team. They're the explosive team. You heard Ender talk about it. Excel, back up. Give up some CS. Don't let yourself die in the laning phase. But I don't know if it's going to be that easy against this team, especially if Elyoya is set up to play something aggressive.
Yeah, when you're a pro player and you're looking at lane phases, you're like, you question yourself. Is like, is this guy going to jump in? Is this guy going to contest the CS? And I think the answer for this game for Excel is yes, they're going to contest it. So put on the brakes, stop the gas, and try to buy time. Scale into late game and win. another beat.
Another beat.
Different tune, different banger.
More sensual, more intimate than game one. We've gotten to know each other already. Now we're onto the house music phase of the evening. Seraphine instantly banned. You love to see it. As good as it looked in the hands of Carzzy, as good as it looked in the mid lane in the hands of Niski when Fnatic are playing it. Personally, I don't love seeing that champion, even if she is incredibly powerful. Graves immediately following up. Udyr going to be banned away as well. Yeah, with these junglers banned, I'm looking at the Lillia Nidalee matchup again. Perhaps it could happen. Perhaps they want to throw in a kind of curveball, different champ. Maybe looking at things like the Olaf, perhaps. But I think AD carry bans are kind of like the meta right now. You know, Seraphine, Thresh, Kalista, Kai'Sa, all these champs are really, really strong, but they're going to ban away the Azir, which I think is a smart ban by mid-lines, although Humanoid is a really, really good Azir. I think taking away the scaling from Excel is definitely what you need to do. Try to stop them from being able to just get the 3 items and then start to win team fights, even though they're at a gold deficit. So Mad Lions are an early game-centric team. They like the early game, so I'd like to see these kind of ban away the scalers, trying to get some aggressive champions just so they can get these gold leads against Excel. Close out the game cleanly, because if you make mistakes like we saw in the last game against the scaling comp, eventually you just lose the game just by pure default in a sense. Absolutely true. TF, of course, continuing to be banned. It was, I think, got 1 day on stage for it's just essentially been perma'd throughout the entire split, and that certainly would help Mad Lions speed up the clock on their early game. Rell is going to be the last ban away here. Kai'Sa was the first pick in the previous matchup, but it'll be interesting to see what the priority is. With Azir off the board, as really, I think, the best-in-class hyper-scaling AP mid laner, do we see Excel dig deep enough to go for something like the Quirky? Maybe a little bit less likely now that they have picked up the Lillia as their first option. Yeah, Lillia picked up, like you said, Kai'Sa's up, Renekton's up, Nidalee's up, these kind of champions. Orianna, Syndra is kind of like the mages available now for the mid laners, barring Zoe. So we'll have to see how Mad Lions want to approach it. Senna Tam is also open, which I think is a really strong bot lane matchup. I mean, bot lane role is so broken. Think about it, Drakos. Rell, Alistar, Leona, Senna, Tam, Aphelios, Thresh, Kalista, Xayah, Rakan, Kai'Sa. You want me to keep going? No. Seraphine. I think you're offending the AD carries. Their role's horribly underpowered, and it needs buffs. I don't know what you've heard about Immortal Shield Bow, but it's fake news, Caedrel. Yeah, well, underpowered role. Yeah, it is. Well, the buffs come in, makes it a lot more overpowered, I would say. But anyway, Orianna picked up. Do they want to go for the jungler, or do they want to go for things like the Kai'Sa? Because if the enemy team picks their jungler, you don't have to pick yours if you can just pick it on 3 instead. Just get the 2 OPs and Excel pick up the Renekton. Do they want to match mid here, or do they want to pick up their AD carry? I think there is a lot of AD carries open, so going for something like the Syndra is definitely a good choice. And I think Syndra Renekton is really not scaling, I would say, for Excel. I think this is very proactive. Get to mid game, be ahead, 2 items, start fighting. So kind of interesting to see that Mad Lions have a little bit more scaling than Excel here, depending on their jungle pick, but Excel definitely coming out with a lot of aggression in the early stages of the draft, and I think they won't struggle to find a bot lane matchup for them because there is so many open. And Mad Lions, of course, debating here on their pick because they will have to mismatch picks and bans. Gragas, as a flex, though, does give them a lot more options. I actually really love that this was the pick that was locked in. It can go support, it can go jungle, it can go top lane even, so some mystery as to where exactly the champion will end up. Yeah, triple flex, I think the most likely is in the top side of the map, into the Renekton, so I'd like to see some kind of jungle focus bans / support bans from Excel, and Mad Lions on their side just targeting bot lane, of course, because they know exactly where everyone's going. But this Gragas flex does throw a small kind of question mark to Excel as to where it could be going. It can definitely go support, it can definitely go jungle, but banning out junglers is the safest because it's most likely to go top support because Orianna Gragas is a mid jungle isn't so strong. I think things like Mad Lions are looking at right now are perhaps things like a Jarvan, perhaps things like an Alistar, just these engaged champs alongside this Gragas Kai'Sa. It's important to note that already in the draft phase that what we're seeing from the side of Excel is definitely not in line with what we've seen in previous weeks. There's not really any scaling element there yet. Yes, it's a Syndra. Yes, she can be very strong. She can one-shot a lot of those carries if she gets ahead. But it's not a hyper-scaling threat. There's not a great scaling top laner. Renekton can still have impact, but it's not the go late, win the game style picks that we've often seen from the Excel lineup. So see if there is going to be a bigger element of scaling here. Some of them already taken away by Mad Lions as the Senna has now been banned. And importantly to note, they're banning away 80 junglers. That's 2 80 junglers banned away, Olaf and Hecarim. Graves is also down. So that kind of leaves Mad Lions in a hole here. Do we go for things like the Nidalee, or what 80 junglers are open for them? I think into Lillia there isn't much left. I think they have to go for something like the Nidalee, and then they're just so AP heavy. But they are going to go for the Alistar, so keeping the Gragas flex alive. And we'll have to see what Excel want to pick up in the bot lane. Xayah's banned, Senna's banned, Aphelios Thresh is still open, which is kind of interesting. And we're looking at Jhin as well, MF. These kind of supportive champions are also open. So how does Excel want to approach this? A little bit of scaling on the AD carry wouldn't hurt. A little bit more engaged could help them a lot as well. And importantly to note, sorry to interrupt you, the Alistar pick actually is really smart because you have the Gragas and the Alistar now. So you've denied the Gragas counter pick against the Alistar. So Excel can't go Kalista Gragas, for example. They're going to go Jarvan support. Wow.
I like it. We saw Trees play it already in the league, and this is the second time we see it.
It's very strong, and we have to remember who he played it against. That was Mad Lions, I believe, running it down in that bottom lane. It was Carzzy playing the Hail of Blades Tristana, who relentlessly fed. And
the face is so... There's such a good timing on that
production,
face.
baby. Well done. I mean, the more we can stay on the Kaiser face, honestly, the better. It fits the mood of this pick ban phase. And now we have a Kayn.
Ooh. That's a blue Kayn. We saw that in the LCK. I think Canyon was the one pulling that off 2 games in a row. Just assassinating people, making these dragon fights so hard for them. I was talking about AD junglers, and I forgot about Kayn, baby. I love to see Kayn.
First Kayn since 2019 spring when Cold played it. He went Rost and one-shot crown shot because he eat into him aggressively. I remember that game because I love this edgy Sasuke-looking guy in the mid lane.
It's crazy good. Well, interesting. I think Excel's team comp is really good at pure team fights, so much engage, so much single target damage, lots of burst, whereas Mad Lions have sort of like an Orianna Alistar wombo combo for fights, and Elyoya is going to have to be the big catalyst in the fights where he kind of zones them away and tries to one-shot people, especially if he can one-shot Czekolad or Patrik before the fight starts. I mean, if you saw the LCK game of Canyon, he was really just one-shotting the whole enemy team essentially and just making it so hard for them to walk up.
And Caedrel, I love this. I am ready for it. Folks, it's time for Game 2 of Week 5. It is time for Excel versus Mad Lions.
Dude, it said roar like 100 times. That's so cool.
Arr.
Rawr.
Breaking news. Humanoid is on your screen. Okay, here's what we're going to talk about. There's a lot of stuff. There's actually so many things. So for those who don't know, I was a degenerate Kayn one trick for like 3 seasons, but I'm bad. So I can tell you a lot about how the kit works, but don't ask me how to play the champion. Anyway, I'll get to talk about that in a little bit.
Could ask me. I'm a jungler.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're actually good at the game and a jungler.
No, carry on.
All right. Man, you're kind of stealing my thunder here by being good at the game. Can you get worse? Is that an option?
I can try, just for you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
I want to take our relationship to the next level. So
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Well, there's a screen here.
Oh, okay.
We could try, but I don't think it would work.
Nope.
Anyway, Excel. They've grouped 3 here in the bottom side. It looks like we may see a late invade. Kayn starting Raptors. Raptors into red. Pretty easy clear. Doesn't need a leash.
Yeah.
But it could mean taking away the blue buff here. This could be spotted out late.
This is really important because Kayn has to start Raptors and go red afterwards. So if Excel can steal away this blue buff, that means that Dan can take 1 or 2 camps without Mad Lions knowing and then run through mid to defend his top side. So they'll get a natural camp advantage. And when Elyoya realizes, he knows he's going to be down probably a level by around 4 to 5 minutes if Dan plays this properly. And look at what Excel's bot lane's doing. It's really, really crucial. They're not running through river into the bot side of the map because then Mad Lions will know that they took our blue. So now, as they come around through Tribush, it looks like they've actually leashed bot. So Mad Lions think that Dan has started on red, when Elyoya is going to get a big shock when he realizes all his bot camps are down. So a really crucial play from Excel, and they will still get the push in this lane because they're playing Kalista, which naturally gets prior in the early levels.
Very big brain stuff coming from Excel. Dan going to be happy to clear those triple camps. Elyoya going Raptors, then just using the Shadow Step through the wall to immediately go to the Krugs. Very fast clear from this champion.
This is what I like to see. Excel invading level 1, 3 priority lanes, trading hard, making sure they get jungle ahead. Excel have turned it around from the last couple of weeks, and they're playing super aggressive in this early game, and none of their champions scale super well. They're all mid-game kind of, yes, some of them are good in late game like the Kalista and the Syndra, but they're all really spiking mid-game champions, so Excel needs to start getting this advantage and start winning these lanes.
And folks, if you're curious why Caedrel sounds so excited about that.
Oh, no. Oh, it's all gone. Oh, he doesn't know what to do. He has to go towards the top side of the map. He realizes every single camp is gone, Drakos. Oh, it's the worst thing ever.
Oh, no. And guys, if you don't know this already, Kayn, kind of in general, the way that I like to look at it, he's like 70% of a champion before he transforms. And if he doesn't have any gold, if he doesn't have any levels early game, knock that down to 50. Because he doesn't have hard CC. He's got a big slow on the W, but that's it. So now he's forced to gank bottom. That said, Excel aren't ready for this. They've spotted him out. They're still going anyway. That's going to be Kaiser punting back. Tori can try to flash EQ out, but now the first blood for Kayn.
No.
It's a disaster.
How can this happen? They should know the jungle's bot side and they're trying to crash the wave in time. Yes, Kaiser played it well, but Elyoya, you could see him. He was running around for 10 seconds. He didn't know what to do. I guess I'll gank bot. First blood.
Czekolad has to be careful.
Oh, yoink.
Oh, he's just
mine now.
Nope.
Yeah, Elyoya can't farm any camps. You can see the CS differential. Dan's farming his whole top camps, and not only do they take away his jungle, they're stalling this crab as well, but I think Syndra using the W there kind of takes away the shell on the crab, so it does make it so it's kind of faster for Elyoya, and now Elyoya's top camps will respawn. So Dan, I feel you. it sucks when you get this such a big jungle lead and then he gets first blood. Yes, Elyoya's back in the game. He is ahead in gold now of Dan, but he will be down in experience, which is really crucial, I think, when you're playing things like the Kayn.
Very, very crucial. A lot of his weaknesses go out the window once you get level 6. Of course, transformation making him very, very, very strong, balancing out that weaker state of the game for him. Humanoid training back, trying to use the mana advantage that he currently has over Czekolad. But Dan gonna poke his head in, realize that the Raptors were taken away. Man, if he just skipped Crab, he would have been there a little bit sooner, but is still gonna get the vision down. We'll generally know where Kayn is, knowing that that is the Raptor respawn.
Yeah, didn't have any top lane prowess, so it could have been a bit risky, especially with mid trading so hard too, but does get some information, puts a wall on the Raptors, so they should know Elyoya is gonna clear his Krux now, base and go bot side. So I don't want to see XL's bot lane trading too hard or trying to crash 2 big waves or trading too aggressively when they know jungle's bot side. But in turn, Dan's bot camps respawn as well. So I think both junglers going to the bot side of the map here. And the game is even in a sense because Dan's ahead in XP and camps, whereas Elyoya got first blood. And XL needs to start winning these lanes. They have 3 winning lanes essentially. They need to start pushing these advantages, getting this Kalista ahead, looking for dives, getting the Renekton 6 dives going, trying to get heralds and start cracking the game over essentially.
And I think this is a good time to have a conversation about Excel because we've talked a lot about them as the scaling team, but the downside of that is that they have been absolutely 100% most certainly not the early game team.
Oh, you hate to see it.
10th in nearly every metric. Caedrel, Excel have been falling behind early game. They've been knocked out in so many early games. And yes, they always come back, and that is good. But when it comes to contesting teams at the top of the table, you can't afford it. There's more.
Oh, you got another one for me?
There's more. You cannot afford to fall super far behind early game. So you being excited about this early game, I love to see it. Them drafting for early game, we love to see it because it means there's progress for Excel. They are willing to push their boundaries here in the second half, but they still need to execute on it. And that might be difficult when Torre's in trouble. Carzzy, though, is going to be the one followed back on. Dan, Elyoya coming through the wall with the shadow step, moving in, going to grab another kill for himself. Patrik gets the TP. Patrik gets one's back in return. Dan, no ultimate, only level 5. Patrik now has to run for the hills. They need the scatter of the weak to disengage, but it's too little too late. Elyoya, he's just racking up kills and assists. This is going to be such an early transform.
Yeah, look at the gold difference, 600 gold up, although he got invaded on the level 1. So Elyoya is definitely back in the game. You can see Czekolad had mid-prio there, but Humanoid just decides to invest the TP advantage, which he had accrued in the 1v1. So Mad Lions being first to the play, getting an advantage. And Torre having no flash by walking to river was kind of dangerous. I mean, we wanted XL. They've made progress in the early game, like you've said, and they've drafted these early game champions, but execution is another thing, as I think Torre kind of thought the jungle wasn't there because Dan was already moving his way down. He tries to EQ onto Carzzy to trade for the 1-for-1, and yes, this would be a 1-for-1, but the TP comes in from Humanoid, and Patrik and Dan can't win a 2v3, so ends up in a 2-for-1 for the side of Mad Lions. And this Kayn, like you said, is snowballing quite quickly, and it's definitely not what you want to play against this XL as the game progresses.
Also, if there's any doubt that it was going to be blue Kayn, seeing the Serrated Dirk essentially 100% locks it in. He's going to be one-shotting life bars, Dark Harvest as well. And as he was pointed out, he's already gotten a ton of stacks off the back of these few exchanges. So if he wasn't already one-shotting you with 2-0-1, he most certainly will be with the Dark Harvest.
Yeah, and both his kills are onto Patrik, so that's a range champion, and he does get the blue form from range champ. So that's super, super important. Elyoya trading Dragon for top camps here. He might look for something top because Kryze was trading quite aggressively. He is level 6 too, so Armut's out of mana though. So it looks like he might just go to farm his camps. And that's the thing with Kayn and these farming junglers. You don't want to drop the ball. You don't want to waste too much time in a lane. You just want to keep farming your camp respawns, keep leveling them up, trying to get to level 6 as fast as you can, try to get your items as fast as you can, and then look for plays around drakes or objectives, or just punish mistakes essentially, as XL are going to get the blue buff respawn, which is really, really important.
Dan, of course, now level 6 as well. And Dan, when we talk about Excel improving their early game, getting more aggressive, being willing to be more aggressive, Dan is kind of the guy that we look at because while he has a very high jungle proximity, 41.1% of the time, still 8th overall, but all things considered, pretty decent. You know, Kai'Sa ain't definitely not there. He hasn't had the most active early games. We look back to the G2 game where he had fantastic bootier early on that kind of fell away and did nothing. So Dan, now as we approach this mid-game, now that he has ultimate, I feel like it's someone that we need to look at to make these plays. Yeah,
I think XL is a very, very good reactive team in a sense, but their proactivity is just lacking a little bit. I think they are very, very intelligent when it comes to that even game state or mid to late game is even and they have team fight advantages and they know how to push the game forwards in the late game. They just need to figure out how to do it in the early game with a winning early game draft, which is what they have. You know, Renekton, Lillia, Syndra, Kalista, Jarvan, this is all early game, all winning lanes, winning jungle matchup, everything, but Mad Lions is the one with the 1k gold lead, and you can see from the prio top, Elyoya wants to start this Herald because Dan's on red and Czekolad base, so he will be able to get the Herald. And XL, although they got a Drake, they're down 1k gold and they're losing a Herald with this early game comp against things like Orianna, Kayn, Kai'Sa. I think when this Herald gets placed, perhaps in mid or in bot, XL looking at a very big gold deficit, but they know the Herald started, so Dan runs towards his bot lane. You can see Mad Lions just trying to defend the bot camps for Elyoya, making sure Dan can't take them away while he does take the Herald on the top side of the map. But it is a 2v3, and they don't have any TPs, so they need to make sure they're careful here.
Backing off. Dan and Torre doing a pretty good job of controlling the bottom half of the map. Still only level 4 for Torre. Maybe some of these engages get a little bit easier once level 6 comes out.
Patrik has to be careful here. He knows that his jungle support are on the camps. Kai'Sa could look to flash on Patrik because he doesn't have flash himself, but Mad Lions don't have enough information to go for it.
That's insult to injury.
You hate to see it.
And Caedrel, this is the thing. And again, if you did not watch the LCK, if you did not watch Canyon's essentially masterclass on what this champion can do. Oh, Kaiser! Now gonna get a little bit frisky here on the bottom side. The turn back there. Carzzy just getting absolutely shredded. Ultimate comes out, but he's still ticking. He's ticking. Is he gone? The healing from the pot. 37 HP. Oh, barely living.
Good reactions there from Carzzy. He didn't have actually the ult to get away. I'm curious to see why Patrik didn't ult there. Could have tried to go for a knock-up as well, but that could have been too deep. It could have ended up in for one. And talking about the LCK, if you see Canyon's building the LCK, he went for the mana immune. Now that's super important because it helps Kayn scale super well when you get the Mura mana. You can see, I saw Kayn W's with 3 items doing 700-800 damage on tanks.
Also,
that's crazy.
This champion loves to spam abilities to clear the jungle quickly. And if you don't have blue buff, he burns through mana so fast. So it makes a lot of sense. Knockback comes in.
Kryze could do a lot of damage here though.
Looks like he's gonna miss though.
Yeah, I think Elyoya knows if Kryze does his full combo onto Elyoya, he could get one shot in a sense, because the Renekton level 6 full fury is very scary with the ultimate. So he does decide to back off. Gets an ultimate trade, does benefit the Gragas in a sense.
Keep in mind that part of the reason why people could consider Kayn balanced is because he's weaker early. So when he's ahead early, he's just not very balanced, Caedrel. And we are waiting. I don't know how much longer it's going to take. Maybe he got red form on accident in one of these plays. Maybe that's why we're waiting. But the second he gets blue form, this game is going to blow wide open. Because that movement speed goes through the roof. The E cooldown goes down to 8 seconds. The W no longer has an animation. This champion is disgusting once it transforms.
Especially if you don't have vision, right? If you have to face check objectives and your front line walks in first, the Jarvan goes in, the Renekton goes in to try and sweep away these wards, then all of a sudden the Kayn comes around the corner and just one-shots your AD carry while you're walking up because he's behind you. So the Assassin Kayn is really fun to watch. We should definitely keep an eye on him as the teamfights progress on these neutral objectives. But the Dragon's still spawning in 1 minute. Elyoya still has his Herald. I think he needs to get some priority lane. You see all lanes for Excel still pushing in a sense. As Excel do give up a little bit of bot pressure here, but Elyoya needs to find a way to use his Herald efficiently or just pop it mid for plating essentially. So Dan is on the bot side of the map. Czekolad has TP, so does Humanoid. So if anything kicks off in bot lane, it's going to be a 4v4. And it's interesting to see that Mad Lions have full bot side river control past the 10-minute mark, because Excel could have snowballed their advantage, tried to control it themselves, but with the Drake coming up and Mad Lions having control, Excel need to re-establish it to try and contest.
They do, and it's interesting because this game has felt a lot slower than so many of the Mad Lions games. Mad Lions on average 0.91 combined kills per minute, usually almost 1 a minute. So this is not even half of how bloody their games normally are, as we now see the Herald use mid lane. But part of that is just because of how Excel have drafted. Excel have set themselves up for the early game, so fighting in the mid game for Mad is a little bit harder, as now we see Laure just one shot. That's going to be a sleepy cow, but there's not really a lot of follow-up here. Elyoya on the way in, but if Czekolad overstays here, this could be disastrous. Pulled back. Humanoid now trying to turn it. Phase Rush now procced. Oh, he's so easy for him to dive here. Humble Trespass comes out. He's inside of you, and now you're gone. Elyoya on a killing spree.
It's all falling apart for Excel in this early game. You can see that they tried to go through bot, but Mad Lions popped the Herald mid and just hit the tower. Excel have to respond by trying to get some river vision around bot side, but Kaiser just goes in onto Torre, essentially one-shots him, and then the two-man dive into mid. Takes down Czekolad because Elyoya can obviously drop the tower aggro with his ultimate, so he's not in any danger. So Patrik has flash, he's getting TP'd on. I think he's just dead. The exhaust is not enough for him to trade 1-for-1.
Stacking spears, but moving himself away, further isolating himself, and just going to make sure doesn't even get to donate over the kill without giving up the assist. The ball coming in clutch to provide that shield. This is a disaster.
This is a disaster for Excel. They need to find something on the map. Dan's hovering around the top side. Czekolad TP'd mid to push in the wave, and he's sprinting top as well. They're going to try and 3-man it, but look at the minimap. Mad Lions know the plays are happening. Kaiser sprinting top, Humanoid's running mid. Elyoya's running
that
top.
Shadow Assassin.
Yeah, they can't look for this dive. They're just completely out of tempo. Yes, Torre's around topside river, but Mad Lions are responding so well.
He's running down.
No flash.
If they don't CC this Kayn, he's instantly going to one-shot this Jarvan. Oh, God, the damage!
Oh, the Jarvan is just not tanky enough, is it? He doesn't have any items. He has a Spell Thieves and Lucidity Boots. So if Kayn gets one combo in it, I think he just falls apart. That's the thing with this Jarvan. Yes, it's strong if it's ahead, but if it's behind, it's so weak. You can see the Jarvan with an amplifying tome as well. So Torre not having a great game here. He needs to stay more with Patrik with the ultimate, but Patrik's in bot wave, so he had no real security when Mad Lions tried to fight him for the vision. So XL overstepping there a bit. And this is definitely not what you want in the early game for Excel's comp.
And Caedrel, while this draft is so different, while Excel are branching out and trying to try new things, still we see the bot lane being the point of collapse in this matchup. Yes, it's been a lot more about jungle support this time around, but Torre getting caught out was the story in the previous game as well. But maybe now it's Armut getting caught out.
This is the thing. He can't enter bot side, because look at the bot side of the map, Drakos. She's taking full bot side river control, full bot side jungle. Dan can't find anything in this early game.
And additionally, Elyoya still has ult up. And I don't even know if he needs ult to one-shot at this point, especially when you've got a Moonstone Renewer on the opposite side. Yes, it's very good, but it's sustained healing, not going to counteract a lot of the burst damage that's going to come out. Elyoya can zoom over this wall and be a massive threat to Czekolad. Torre is stepping forward, very risky, but a clean shadow step out for Elyoya will take him to safety.
Yeah, trying to steal away the Raptor there. Patrik was around with the ultimate to save him. Wait, they're just blast coding over. Elyoya
He just flash shot him, but no, he manages to get inside of Torre. He manages to get a little bit more back. He leaps over the wall, a bit of healing coming in from the E, but now he's sleepy. Dan trying to follow. Big shutdown for Dan. That's 700 gold. Kaiser and Carzzy need to get out. Kaiser might just have to sacrifice himself to flag the drag. Punt back, find it forward. It looks good, but it's not enough. Patrik gonna grab the kill.
Excel finds something on the map. This is so crucial for them because now the Dragon's up as well still, so they'll be able to pick this one up. Only a 2k gold deficit now because of that shutdown. They will lose mid tower because Czekolad rotated towards that bot play, and Mad Lion just biting off way more than they can chew, trying to go for Golem's contest or the Crux contest when Excel, they have no vision on Excel. Their bot lane's just out of lane, their jungle was around, so very, very risky play from Elyoya and Kai'Sa there.
And
but
now,
shutdown.
And now, Caedrel, we have a way for Excel to climb back. It's not just a 700 gold shutdown, but it's Infernal Rift as well. As we take a look at this play,
Don't think they knew that Dan was there perhaps because they think that they can just go for a 2v2 and just zone away the XL bot lane from this bot wave so Mad Lions can get the bot tower, but Dan was there. They have the TP from Kryze as well, so Dan does pick up a 700 gold shutdown. Patrik gets the kill onto Kaiser, so the gold's going where it needs to go, although Dan is a supportive champion this game with the Moonstone. He does get it faster in the game, and Patrik is 2-2 on this Kalista now. He is a level down still, and Mad Lions are still quite ahead, especially with the scaling on their side, but XL have found something. They just need to find more.
have to keep the tempo up. Have to keep trying to find these small advantages. Torre's still only level 7. At least matching the opposition here as Elyoya is going to be uncontested for now on this Herald. They'll know he's doing it, but Excel not really in a great position to respond. Infernal Soul could be Excel's way out. We now have the Chem Tank coming in from Gragas as well, so he may start to lose out a bit more in the individual 1v1 to provide more for the team, as Torre is just getting absolutely destroyed here. Elyoya waiting, looking for an opportunity. Here he goes. Blade's Reach comes out. Dan now going to be in trouble. Umbral Trespass comes through as the 1v1 happens off to the side. Carzzy now isolated. They're just going to start mowing down these kills. There's nothing left for Patrik.
Triple
he pulls
kill.
out with the Rend. Are you kidding me? Kayn triple at 16 minutes. 7-1-1 for Elyoya.
This Kayn is way too accelerated for XL to deal with. I'm kind of confused what XL's decision-making was there. They tried to look for an engage, but Mad Lions have all summoners up, and they have TP advantage on their top laner as Kaiser is fighting Czekolad here to try and stop him away from the wave. He has the ultimate in case Czekolad wants to turn, but just confusing decision-making from XL. Maybe they wanted to try to find a 3v3 to win the 3v3 in a sense, to chunk Mad Lions to get some vision. But I'm not sure if that was the correct play. So Mad Lions sitting so far ahead, 7 kills on this Kayn. But you have to question, what is Torres thinking here? He's trying to find the 3v3 to contest the vision because he knows Elyoya and Herald, but he finishes in time, he misses the combo. And then by the time they try to find something, stun hits Patrik, and then Elyoya's there to turn it. Not only that, but they have the TP as well from Armut. So triple kill for Kayn, 7 kills 15 minutes into the game. XL are just staring down death on the enemy team when it comes to jungler.
It just feels rough for Torre. 0-5-3, not the scoreline that he wanted. You see him there at the bottom of the gold standing. And even in that play, he could have EQ flashed, but he opted to save the flash to try to get out. And I think that if you're making those kind of half-hearted engages on these micro plays, it's always just going to feel rough. And coming back in now, has to have the confidence to pull the trigger here. Is Patrik going to throw him in? Gets pulled back himself. Big damage already going down, but the Orianna being in trouble. Humanoid potentially has to back off, but Torre just going to go down.
Yeah, Kaiser has flash. Flash onto Patrik. No flash on Patrik.
Armut off to the side. The knockback is there. Patrik instantly dead. It's not all bad. Torre's death was not in vain, but Elyoya, as he's now hunting. Shadow Step coming through.
Yes,
Blade's Reach. One auto. Doesn't even need the ult, but he'll use it anyway. That damage is nasty.
Drakos, it's an absolute bloodbath. XL tried to force summoners on Humanoid, I think, but they just get 2v1'd, and then Mad Lions just say, okay, we'll kill you, I guess. You can see, I think Patrik wants to throw Torre in to force Humanoid's flash, but the shockwave pulled Patrik back, so what does Humanoid have to be scared of? And then Torre has to re-engage it, because he knows if he runs away, he's dead. So Torre goes down. Mad Lions are confused because they want to set up bot side control. And then the flash from Kaiser here was very, very, very intelligent, I think, because Patrik knows sums, of course, and they pick up 3 kills. So Mad Lions are so far ahead in this early game, when I really think they shouldn't be. with their composition at least. And oh, you hate to see it. Look at the damage. One shot.
Dead with one auto. Doesn't give him the chance. Oh my god, that's the
Feels
Power
good,
Rangers
man.
finish. You just can't let people do that to you. That's not okay.
Feels good, man. Excel looking for a play onto Kaiser. He has the ultimate though. So it feels like everywhere Excel's going, there's just nothing to achieve. They couldn't find the top gank. They can't find this bot play. They couldn't win the top 3v3. TP's coming in and Excel are 6k gold down in 18 minutes. We talked about the early game.
Yeah, but this is on another level.
This is on another level, especially with, I mean, they do have 2 dragons in this Infernal Soul, but this is really on another level, especially when you've drafted 4 early game.
And I think in that respect, I really like Kayn in general. If you're not going to do crazy stuff in the early game, Kayn feels so good. That said,
Look at
this
his
does now
items.
have the Prowler's Claw.
Look at Kayn's items.
Oh, and he's on the way to the mana. That's just dirty.
He's gonna one-tap everyone.
I mean, he's already one-tapping.
He's already one-tapping everyone.
He's already got a giant magic damage amp on the Shadow Assassin passive. Now he's got another damage amp on the active here. Coming in from the Prowler's Claw.
Yeah.
Up against Moonstone Staff of Flowing Water. And don't get me wrong, I believe it's a good item combo. You know, I'm a follower of the Church of the LS, but when it comes to who's going to one-shot who, it's most certainly not that champion. As now the pullback comes in, stopwatch has been used. Patrick's going to get caught out, will just barely dodge it, but instantly onto the backside. Carzzy trying to find Kryze. Kryze now going to be in trouble, but keep your eyes on the Shadow Assassin Kayn. Once the Shadow Step is back up, he's going to be able to get into that backline, but no, they forced him out. He has no one on to ult onto, and that's the shutdown. That is key. That is clutch. There was no viable target left for him to push the ult on, so he will drop.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1, but that's a huge shutdown onto Elyoya. And although we've been hyping this Kayn up so much, I have to say, if this champ does get stunned up, you have no health, no resistances, you die in one combo, especially against champions like the Syndra. As Excel are trying to find some contests on this dragon. They don't have any tools to try to fight this because there's no ultimates up. Yes, they have flashes, but they can't find any engage because Mad Lions know if they walk in, they can just turn it. So Mad Lions denying the Infernal Soul point essentially from Excel. I mean, that Excel, their only real scaling opportunity was the Dragon Wing condition. As a TP comes behind Carzzy, no ult, no flash. Kryze has the ultimate as well. Carzzy doesn't know it's here. Oh, Carzzy.
There's nothing. Wait, maybe. The exhaust is very, very powerful. TP now coming in, but that's all the damage coming out. That's the shutdown.
coming in from
Humanoid.
Czekolad, no flash on Humanoid. Oh,
Humanoid now
EQ
gonna
flash.
knocked up the EQ flash. Kaiser gonna maybe try to disengage, but he knows it's already too late. Humanoid gonna throw down the ultimate, but they have to walk away. That's clutch for the side of Excel.
That is clutch, Drakos. What can they get from this? I think they can get bot tier 1. There's not much Nash control for them to be able to run over to it, and the respawn timers aren't long enough for it. So if we look at this fight again, you can see this is the problem with face checking. You have no vision, and Excel just see Orianna isolated. Maybe we can get her flash, ult me out if she flashes away, and then we can re-engage later on. But Mad Lions say no re-engage for you. We're going to be the ones re-engaging, and then from that point, Mad Lions just kind of run at them. There's nothing Excel can do, and although I think Elyoya went way too deep here himself, gets stunned up, and Czekolad picks up the kill, and he's tanking tower. Oh, look at that gold. 850. Oh, dinner's on Czekolad, I think.
Yeah, an important general tip. If you're playing against Kayn in solo queue and he's giving you a hard time, his Q animation, very long. If he's in Rost, his W animation, very long. He can't ult in that animation. So in this case, if you chain CC him, he's so easy to one-shot. In theory, he's got that mobility. He should be able to dance around you. But if CC ever connects on Elyoya with this build, he'll get one-shot. Just like you said, it's not impossible for Excel to make this champion just non-existent by having Czekolad ultimate at the start of every single fight.
Yeah, you can see Excel trying to get some Nash vision. I think that although the scaling is on Mad Lions' favor, Excel have some ways to win the game. You know, the Renekton will win the side lane. The Syndra is really effective against this Kayn because it's so hard for him to team fight or find engages. He needs to find flanks, try to pick people off individually and isolate them himself. So Mad Lions do have control of the map, but Excel can find ways to punish Mad Lions' mistakes if they overreach. They have got the Staff of Flowing Water and the Moonstone for Patrik, but Patrik's just not doing enough damage with the items that he's got. Because he has to build for the plated steel caps, only seeing 1.5 items. There's not enough to buff him up and get the damage going, but Czekolad and Kryze need to be the ones to help Excel to the late game. Kryze on the side lane and Czekolad finding the fights.
Maybe when we see the Prowler's Claw come in for Kryze, he'll be able to find some one-shots. One of the more vulnerable members of the Mad Lions lineup at this point, looking mostly at Carzzy, even if he does have the Gale Force. Maybe that is how Excel can find some of these opportunities to win fights. That said, Kryze gonna have to find his way out of this 1v1 with a clean sidestep, though, is certainly a good start. Conqueror now already procced the knockback there. Double dash, not clear if he has the second active. He does, and he's gonna use it to get out.
Yeah, Kryze scared of Carzzy rotating down. He knows he can ult in across the map if Armut gets some CC to proc that ult. So Armut did miss the E, and I think Kryze could have turned that and won the 1v1, because if you don't hit the E on Gragas, the cooldown's longer, and then he could have chased him down and perhaps killed him, because Armut no flash. So Does open away, Carzzy rotates down to make sure he's safe so he can push out this wave, and Mad Lion trying to keep all these waves pushed in so XL don't really have anything to farm, because essentially if you have all the waves pushed in and all the control of the jungle, you can farm the jungle camps and the waves faster, so essentially you just get gold leads by default essentially, yeah.
Manamune there, but not fully stacked for Elyoya. Potential for the collapse here. Patrik has to be very, very careful. Dan as well. Czekolad has a bit of self-defense tools, but Kayn finds someone without cooldowns. He will be able to instantly one-shot them. Pull back.
Oh, yoink.
In Caedrel. It looks like we're maybe gonna have a fight over mid lane prio. Elyoya still running around, still floating around the backside. Can just throw out the W, but has to respect the potential for the stun. If there's any follow-up at all, again, he will get one shot. This is a glass cannon of a champion.
Mad Lions can kind of chase this down a bit. They don't want XL to walk into river to take all their pinks away. And you can see XL trying to get some mid prio because Mad Lions were wasting a lot of time in the jungle trying to find Torre. Also Patrik comes in, and then we have some kind of tempo. Let's try and push mid and get some vision, but in the end, Mad Lions chased them out of it, and they stopped them from being able to take too much topside vision, although I think XL have a couple of sneaky wards in the river, which they should be able to spot out of Mad Lions if they try to start up Baron. But at the moment, they're just farming jungle camps, getting their items. Looks like they're probably going to base, and then keep sieging these tier 2 down, because the mid tier 2's down, Drake's in 50 seconds, lots of objectives on the map instead of the Baron, because that's quite risky.
And when we talk about these teams, Caedrel, again, it's Mad Lions early game, it's Excel's late game. Excel, they're the team that drafted for early game. They drafted early to mid. They certainly have a lot of power there. We're pretty steadily working our way through the mid game. We're going to end up at the late game. This is Excel's bread and butter. Normally, it's backed up by picks like Azir, picks that scale very well. This time around, I feel like we finally get to test how good is the Excel late game really. Is it just picking late game champions and waiting, or is it clutch decision making? Can they respond? Can they outmaneuver in the macro? Can they find these opportunities? Because if they can win a game that goes late with this composition, that is massive for two teams that are tied in the standings.
Yeah, Kalista scales well if she's ahead, but if she's behind, she's really not that strong in the mid to late game. Syndra is quite strong in the late game, but nothing like a Orianna. As they flash in, Czekolad cancels the combo from Kaiser. The shockwave whiffs. XL have a chance.
Armut going in on the backside, but they have to be careful. They have to respect potential for the Kayn, but meanwhile, Armut is just infinitely more important. Torre's just getting one shot before the fight even kicks off. Kryze gets absolutely nothing done. Mad are just absolutely obliterating XL. Elyoya moving forward, looking for one more auto. Doesn't even need it. Dan just prancing his way out of the fight, but man, that was so one-sided.
Never mind, they didn't have a chance. It looks like Mad Lions have way too much firepower in these fights. The Orianna, the Kai'Sa just hitting the same targets essentially. Look how fast Kryze died in the backline, and now what's Mad Lions gonna get? They're gonna get the Infernal Dragon and the Baron. They get 4 for 0, especially in the team fight as well. They're looking at a 10,000 gold lead here with an outscaling comp. So as soon as this Baron goes down, Mad Lions can set up the siege and XL. They don't really have any gas left in the tank, Drakos.
Maybe it was wrong to hype up Excel in this position because they were 8k down going into that fight. This was certainly Mad Lions' fight to win, and the execution wasn't super clean from the side of Excel either. And now Mad Lions, they've got scaling. They certainly have got the gold lead. They've got the Giga-fed Kayn. Elyoya with a pop-off performance. It's looking pretty done, so.
Yeah, I thought when this combo got cancelled and the shockwave whiffs, Patrik didn't even have to flash away, he just sidestepped it. The fight could be won, but look at Armut on the flank. Gets a couple members, and Kryze tries to do the same thing in the backline, but look at how fast Kryze dies. This is one Kayn combo against a tank. It's not a tank or anything, but he has a lot of health, and then Carzzy just pops him in the backline, and from there, Mad Lions can chase him down. There's not enough frontline damage on this Gragas to be able to stop Mad Lions from running forward. That's the key. Armut can just run in your face and just keep running at you non-stop, because XL don't have enough consistent DPS to take him down, and if that's the case, then their carries can step forward, and Carzzy and Humanoid can clean up the fight.
And the thing is, in a dead-even game, missing your shockwave, missing your combo, Kayn missing a W and a Q there in that fight, that probably loses you the fight, but they're not even. They're 10k ahead. Czekolad has no business being anywhere on this map right now. All of this is Mad Lions territory, and frankly, they're out for blood. Patrik's split pushing in a side lane, but it feels like this might just be it.
Yeah, Mad Lions own the whole map. Patrik trying to split push tier 2s here, but he's gonna have to base. The thing is, if Patrik was top right now, the game would be the same. He can't wave clear these super minions. Mad Lions can look to dive whenever they want. Patrik trying to get some gold here, you have to respect it. But Mad Lions, can they just run it down and end, you have to ask? They have a mid wave if they want to just play it safe and go for the mid inhibitor as well, but Patrik decides to recall, and XL need to wait for Czekolad if they're even going to stand the chance of scratching Mad Lions in these fights.
And I think chance is probably the best word. Miracle, maybe even better, because Excel, they've got nothing going for them at this point. The items coming in are not going to be enough. The champion scaling, not in their favor. The map state, not in their favor. It's brutal.
Yeah, looking grim. 2 inhibs down. Now Mad Lions can just base, send 1 or 2 people in the top mid, 3 people bot, buff up the waves, and just siege on these tier 2, tier 3s in bot lane. So XL have to find something, sweep out vision, try and make a pick. Can they do anything, Drakos? Get back in this game. I'm pretty sure the answer is no by looking at the gold deficit, champions, the map state.
And the thing is, they had a fight where they one-shot Kayn at the start, you know, and that's so positive for the team because so much of the damage, so much of the money is in Elyoya's back pocket. But he's so far ahead, he's finished the Murm on it, he got a QSS now too. So even if the Scat of the Week comes out, the instant QSS into the ultimate keeps him safe. And I think he's going to get greedy here.
He's going to one-shot someone.
Here you go, instantly. He might one-shot 2 people. Where's he going? Inside Patrik, the pullback is there. Now you're going to try to go over the wall, but here comes Kaiser. It's the old switcheroo. Dan going to try to put him to sleep, but it might be too little too late. The double sleep does come out, but now it's Armut on the backside. Just going to go for the next one. Doesn't even worry about the Syndra. Sets his sights on Kryze, and this is just about going to do it. The body slam coming through. Elyoya on the way in with the shadow step. They are running Kryze down. He needs to get it back into the fountain if he wants to stay alive in this one.
30-second death time with an XL, and that's going to be it. I think Drakos Mad Lions cleaning house. They have a mid and a top wave coming. They still have the Baron for a little bit too, and you can see the amount of damage coming out of the Kayn in the late game. The shield bow did save Patrik briefly, but like you said, Carzzy flying in, cleaning up the team fight, and Elyoya did manage to live on the back end of it. So 4-0, still 15 seconds left. I think that's it.
That's going to do it. Mad Lions, absolutely dominating performance. The Kayn pick clutch from Elyoya, the Mad Lions team, making good on their team fight commitments, and now gonna have a bit of fun here at the end as the shutdown comes through. Elyoya's down, and that's the only victory Excel will find today as Mad Lions come out on top.
They got the shutdown,
They got a couple of them.
but Mad Lions got the Nexus.
You know, it's tough sometimes. Teams forget what's more important.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of AD junglers banned going into that draft, but Kayn was open, so Mad Lions definitely practicing that one. Elyoya looked very comfortable in it. Although he got shut down in the early game, you have to question how he got first blood, how he got 2 kills even when he was so far behind in terms of jungle camps and XP.
They saw him on the bottom side. He swept a ward.
You hate to see it.
That's rough. It's rough. I'm not going to lie to you. I love Kayn. Let there be a Kayn meta, even if it's just for this week until
Maybe this is the Kayn meta.
11.4 ruins the jungle for junglers, but makes the game better for us laners.
Revert it. Revert the changes now.
Don't do it.
While there's still a chance.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Okay. Don't do it. But Mad Lions, this is kind of what we've known from them. A little bit of creativity, a little bit of aggression. You can vote, though. Key player of the game, Elyoya, Carzzy, Kaiser. You've got options. You know what the right one is, though. For the junglers out there, before the patch changes.
Represent the junglers.
For the Kayn mains out there, the edgy boys, the Sasuke enthusiasts, the edgelords,
the one-shot macros.
the anime fans, the one-shotters. We're going to learn more about the Kayn pick in just a minute, though, as Laure is checking in with Elyoya.
Love it.
I don't really consider it gear. It's an extension of who I am. It blurs the line between fantasy and reality. Sometimes, I can't tell myself from my machine. I think that's by design.
Welcome back to the LEC. The Mad Lions are in an absolute dominance today after defeating Excel. But if someone had fun today, it must be Elyoya, I guess. You had an amazing game with the champion, and it was your first competitive Kayn, from what I heard. So you got the player of the game here. First, I would like to announce. But what did you like about the Kayn? And how did you come up with the champion? Because, as I said, you never played it competitively yet.
Yeah, so I mean, there were a lot of like junglers banned, so we also were looking for an AD jungler, and just like 2 days ago, I think it was Canyon played Kayn into Lillia, which I also thought that it was a pretty good matchup. So the champion was good for the moment, so I just picked it.
What about your performance then? Because yeah, you destroyed any hopes that Excel could have here.
I mean, yeah, I think I got like insanely fed, and from that point, like it was really hard to play into a Kayn like that is just this fed, because I got the form also like really fast. So I think that yeah, it was just like
could have been a completely different story though, because I remember the very early game when you arrived bot side jungle and you realized the blue buff is gone, everything is gone. How did you react, and did you adapt the game plan according to that?
I mean, yeah, like I didn't even know. So as soon as I see there is no blue, no Grom, no wolves, I'm just like, okay, I guess we got late invaded. And then like I think that at that point the only chance I had is to like get a bot gank off, or else like my game is pretty doomed. But I got the gank bot off, so everything went fine.
Yeah, you got the gank, you got the first blood, and after that you spent a lot of time bot lane. So I'm wondering, what was your plan in the beginning? Did you want to apply pressure bot lane, or did you adapt because of the early invade and the first gank you got successful on bot lane?
It was more of adapting, because as Kayn you typically it's more normal that you go for jungle lead, like you're just like 20 CS out of enemy jungler, you're 1 level ahead, or like that things. But also if like you're getting free ganks, or enemies are just like not playing accordingly, so you can just gank them and get free kills, and if you get free kills, Kayn is just like really unstoppable.
Yeah, unstoppable. And we saw that. You were right to mention, though, that the first time we saw this pick was in the LCK. It's also been played in NA, every time against a Lillia, as you said. So what makes Kayn a good champion against Lillia?
So I think that it has like a really good clear, and at the moment like junglers require like a really good clear in order to not fall behind. Also the interaction with the ultis is like Lillia will just ulti, you can just get inside her with your ult. So it's just like overall I think it's a good matchup. Also once you have like the assassin form, you can just one-shot her from 100 to 0. I think Lillia should go Zonia in this matchup, but in this case he didn't, so it was better for me.
Didn't happen, and you got the edge here. But Elyoya, fantastic performance once again. Congrats on taking down Excel, and good luck for the match tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to get a closer look on Kayn, let's send it over to Ender.
Thanks, Laure. Mad Lions just took a massive win in the race for playoffs, and it was on the back of Elyoya's Kayn. And they got into a lot of the good stuff there about why Kayn is really good into that Lillia matchup, like they were mentioning. Just really good early clear. Both champions, they want to clear their red side camps, of course, splits through the Raptors, the Krugs. They both kind of suck at Scuttle Crabs. They're even there. And of course, Kayn's scaling cannot be understated. So right off the bat, we tried to stop it. You know, you'll notice off of the mini-map, of course, that there was that late invade towards the bottom side, and a ward that was later placed to see the Kayn coming towards his bot side and effectively cutting off Kayn's entire route. So I would love to ask to please pause the video right at this point, and you'll notice again, Kayn seen on a ward. Top lane has priority for the enemy team. Mid lane has priority. Bot lane, all these lanes for Excel have prio early on, and it effectively puts Elyoya in a position where there's not a whole lot he can do. He can't go and counter invade topside because Lillia will be there, and Renekton will be able to walk down and counter it out as well. So Elyoya does a really smart move here. We can play the clip because he sees this ward, he clears it, and he fakes that he's going towards the top side, waits around a little bit, and then comes back down bot side for this gank. But like we heard from Elyoya himself in the interview, Excel needed to be ready for this. This bot lane matchup was so pivotal. We were talking about it before the matchup. Excel just need to chill out and not get punished. They got ganked again in the bot lane before Tori's flash came up. And again, this is where the game just went completely haywire. Elyoya not only gets the Rift Herald, but also a triple kill. Rolling up here into the top lane, he's able to again hop into Dan as he's being put to sleep. He's still slept on the other side of it, but again, can just pretty much ignore a whole lot of that duration. And with 3 kills and that point onward, there's just not a whole lot that can be done to stop this man. He's buff, he's jacked, and he's got like 12 kills to pad the KDA too. So very nicely done from Elyoya in this game. And I would like to dive a little bit deeper into his itemization as well, because there were some peculiarities in the build here. And I think the big one a lot of people notice is the mirror mana Kayn. Now, this is something we have been seeing a whole lot. Of course, gives you a ton of mana. That mana then converts into bonus attack damage you do get on the kit. And the passive there too means that on damaging attacks or abilities, that includes, you know, his QW, ult, all that, you're going to get bonus damage based on that mana. You'll also notice he went for an Umbral Glaive before his Prowler's Claw. Now, I think this may have been to do with a little bit of what kind of money he recalled on. Maybe didn't quite have enough for that Prowler's Claw, but regardless, it meant that he could get through undetected and find a lot of those ganks. So overall, a very clean performance from Elyoya on the Kayn, and it's a pick that I'm expecting we will see more of. Now, last week, G2 Esports reclaimed their top spot, and today they are fighting to defend it against Astralis.